question will be, what does a 2p rise as well as a 2p cut in NI do to Scotland's budget? There's a Fraser of Allender paper, I think, or a blog, basically saying that it could result in a £1 billion cut to the Scottish block grant. Obviously, that's tricky for the SNP government a couple of months ahead of the Holyrood election. Now, I listened closely to what the Scottish Government were saying, and they described this £1 billion cut as the worst-case scenario, because this £1 billion cut doesn't factor into the equation any Barnett consequentials that come to Scotland. So I know from speaking to people in the Scottish Government, they think it would be much less than £1 billion. But, say it was £1 billion, they face two choices. Do they match the 2p rise in income tax in Scotland, or do they go for spending cuts? Then I just cannot see John Swinney, even though income tax has been put up already, I cannot see him going into an election having put up income tax.
No, although I think, again, I'm right, if there's a 2p cut to national insurance, that would actually work out as a tax cut for Scots. So
in terms of their pockets, in terms of their own budgets,
John Swinney could cancel that out, and he said, look, we've filled out a black hole, you're no better off, you're no worse off, and cancel out any tax cut that Anna Sarwar could use going into next May, saying, look, the Labour Chancellor has put more money in your pocket.
I think John Swinney's primary calculation will not be trying to balance books or looking at a bunch of spreadsheets with pounds and pence on it. It will be, how can I play this to screw over Labour and go into this election bizarrely as the tax-cutting party, or the party that puts more money in your pockets. Now, that will be his primary calculation, and that is what he'll do. I'm absolutely certain. There's no way they'll do anything that's going to damage their chances in April.
They had £1 billion left over at the end of last year.
That as well. I'm sure they've got a kitty of leftover cash somewhere. So you could subtract that from the £1 billion cut too. He's not going to erase tax. He doesn't know how to do that.
No chance.
And also, if he did that, if he did raise income tax and it's offset by the NI, I think it's still the pensioners who would lose out. Does he want to annoy them? It's messy politically. And I think, he would... It looks like he's just going to blame Labour for whatever happens. The UK budget this month looks like being a shit show, and there's going to be enough in there for the SNP to moan and squeal about perceived wrongs done to Scotland.